My baby desperately needs surgery, and my wife is about to divorce me. She thinks that I stole the fund that we have been saving to give our daughter surgery. She thinks that I stole it, and I went off and spent it in Florida, but I know the truth. I know it was her friend, and I know it was her best friend because I caught her. And I can't prove it yet, but I'm going to be able to prove it. And I'm going to bring her world crashing down. And I know the real reason she's doing this. It's because she's jealous. She's jealous that I'm married to my wife because in high school, she wanted to date her. That's right. Best friends wanted to date. And I'm not going to let it happen. But guys, I have to prove it first. So this is what I'm going to tell my wife. I don't know why I'm typing this. My girlfriend Becky and I had our daughter in January last year. Emergency C-section. Becky hemorrhaged real bad, almost passed on the table. They had to remove her uterus. She was 25 years of age and they took away any chance of more children while our daughter's first cries were still echoing in the OR. The doctor said it's matter-of-factly, like he was telling us about an oil change, and Becky didn't speak for 4 days after. Our daughter was born with a cleft palate. Fixable, but expensive. Multiple surgeries needed before she turns 3. Insurance covers some, but not enough. It's never enough. We're looking at $30,000 minimum out of pocket for everything that she needs. But looking at her trying to smile at us through that split lip, man, there's nothing we wouldn't do for it. Becky, she changed after the birth. Not just like normal baby blues. Oh no. She would stare at our daughter for hours and then lock herself in the bathroom and scream into a towel. I found her once at 3 a.m. standing over the crib with kitchen scissors, cutting off chunks of her own hair because she said it was wrong and the baby deserved a better mom. Started therapy, but quit after 3 sessions, said the therapist looked at her like she was broken because maybe she was. Maybe we both were. I work construction, not the good union type, the kind where you show up at Home Depot at dawn and hope someone needs their deck built. When Becky could not go back to her receptionist job, she'd have panic attacks just trying to leave the house. I started taking any job that I could get. Roofing in February, demolition work that probably wasn't entirely legal. This guy Todd paid me cash to strip copper from abandoned buildings. Didn't ask questions, didn't ask about permits. Here's the thing about Worcester. See, everybody knows everybody's crap. Becky's coworker from the dental office, this woman Sharon, she's 31, started coming around to quote help. She would bring groceries, hold the baby while Becky showered, normal stuff. But Sharon had this way of talking, like everything was a potential catastrophe. She mentioned how her cousin's boyfriend seemed like a good dad until he emptied the kid's college fund for Patriot tickets and scratch-offs. A random story, right? Except she told it while looking directly at me. 6 months ago, I get an opportunity. My buddy Jerry's uncle runs a moving company. Needed drivers for a long-haul move to Florida. Pays $2,000 cash per run. Under the table. Could make enough for our daughter's first surgery in 4 runs. So, I told Becky about it, showing her the math on a napkin. 4 trips, 2 months, max. We would have enough for the surgery plus some breathing room. She said yes. She actually smiled for the first time since the birth. We actually had romance that night. Careful and sad romance, both of us cried afterwards. She whispered she was sorry for being broken, and I told her we're both broken, baby. But at least our pieces fit together like the most perfect puzzle. Stupid thing to say, but she laughed. Gosh, I miss her laugh. First run went perfect. Boston to Tampa. 3 days down, 2 days back. Handed Becky $2,000 in 20s and watched her count it over and over like she couldn't believe it was real. She'd already called the surgeon's office, put us on the schedule for March, and our daughter would be able to eat normally by her first birthday? Second run. Sharon started her crap. She would be at our apartment when I get back, always with some observation. How tired I look, how I smell like cigarettes. Yeah, obviously, because the other drivers smoke. How defensive I got when asked about my route. And she would show Becky these articles about how long-haul truckers have families in different states and it's normal. Mentioned how Florida was legal gambling everywhere now. I saw it happening. Watched Becky's eyes change when she looked at me. That little flicker of doubt, but we needed the money, so I kept driving. Third run. I came back to find our bedroom turned upside down. See, Becky had gone through everything looking for evidence. Yeah, that's what she said at least. She was looking for evidence. Evidence of what? She wouldn't say. Sharon had just noticed some red flags and thought Becky should trust but verify. The money was the trigger. I'd been keeping it in a lockbox in my truck, planning to deposit it all, just to avoid questions from the bank. I didn't want IRS crap when we needed every penny for surgery, but when Becky found the box empty, because, well, I just moved the cash to a better hiding spot, Sharon convinced her that I gambled it away. Are you kidding? She said, $8,000 doesn't just disappear. She said this sitting on our couch like she owned it, holding my daughter. Check his phone, gambling apps, casino reward programs, check everything. Becky was shaking so bad she could barely hold my phone. Nothing there was, well, gambling related because there's nothing to be there. But Sharon had an answer for that too. He's probably using a burner phone. They all have burner phones, these addicts. Here's what kills me. I had been hiding something all right, but it was not gambling or another woman or any of Sharon's fevered theories. I've been saving an extra $1,000 to buy Becky a car. A crappy 2004 Honda. But, you know, it actually runs. So that's a plus. She's been trapped in our apartment for over a year, dependent on Sharon or her mom for rides. And I thought if she could drive again, maybe she would feel less broken. The seller wanted cash, wanted to wait until I had the full $3,500. It was supposed to be a surprise for Christmas. But try explaining that to someone who's already decided you're lying. Becky calls the seller, and I gave her his number and told her to ask him. The guy, he confirmed everything. But Sharon immediately said, I probably paid him to lie. That's when I knew this would never end. Sharon would always have another explanation, another doubt to plant, and I moved out. Couldn't do it anymore. Couldn't wake up every morning wondering what new accusation was waiting. Stayed with Jerry for a week, then started sleeping in my truck. Still did the Florida runs, but now I just left Becky half in an envelope under the door. No interaction, no chance for Sharon to witness and interpret. So 2 weeks ago, I'm at a gas station in Framingham. I see Sharon. She's with some guy, laughing, holding hands, whatever. But then I see her pay for gas and pull out a distinctive wallet. It was hot pink with rhinestones spelling Becky, that I bought for Becky's birthday last year. The one that went missing right around when the money accusation started. I sat in my truck for 20 minutes, piecing things together, and Sharon was coming over with groceries. See, Becky hadn't asked for these. Sharon always being available to babysit. Sharon knowing exactly when I would be gone. Sharon who worked at a dental office that definitely didn't pay enough for the new car that she'd shown up in last month. I drove to Becky's mother's house. Becky had moved in there after I left, and her mom always liked me. Knew that I was good to her daughter. I told her about the wallet, and she gets this look, like puzzle pieces were snapping. Told me Sharon had been borrowing money from Becky, lots of it, for her sick father, supposedly. Except her mom had seen Sharon's dad at Market Basket last week, healthy as a horse. We went to Becky together, found her in her childhood bedroom. Our daughter asleep in the crib that we bought together at Savers, Sharon sitting bedside, showing her job listings in Florida. For when you need to track him down for child support, Sharon was saying. Becky's mom went nuclear, started screaming at Sharon about the wallet, the money, all the lies. Sharon tried to deny it, but Becky was already pulling up her banking app. $5,236 worth of transfers to Sharon over exactly 3 months. The exact amount we needed for the surgery deposit. Well, Sharon's face, when she realizes she was caught, I will never forget it. No shame, no guilt, just rage that we would figure it out. She stood up, looked at Becky, and said, I was trying to save you from him. You'll see. Men like him always show their true colors eventually. Then she just left. Just walked out like she hadn't destroyed everything in her path. And Becky tried to apologize, kept saying that she was sorry, that the hormones and the trauma and the fear had made her crazy. That Sharon had seemed so certain, so protective, that she just wanted someone to tell her where everything felt wrong. See, I wanted to forgive her, wanted to hold her and our daughter and pretend the last 3 months hadn't happened. But I couldn't. Because while she was believing Sharon's lies, I was sleeping in parking lots, showering at truck stops, and eating 1 meal a day to save money for our daughter's surgery. I was fighting every day not just to drive to Florida and literally never come back. And she's chosen to believe I was the monster instead of seeing the one sitting in our living room stealing our daughter's surgery money. I gave her the car keys anyways. The 2004 Honda I bought, told her that she needed it more than I needed the gesture. She cried so hard that she threw up. Our daughter was screaming in the background, and I left them both there and just drove away. Guys, that was exactly 2 weeks ago. The surgery's been postponed indefinitely, and Sharon blocked everybody and apparently moved to Rhode Island with the guy from the gas station. Becky texts me pictures of our daughter every day, and I don't respond, but I save every one. I want to go home, want to hold my daughter, want to fix what's broken, but every time I think about it, I remember Becky's face when she accused me. The way that she looked at me like I was capable of stealing from our sick baby. How easily she believed it, and I know that even if I forgive her, even if we try again, that look will always be there in the back of my mind. The knowledge that when things got hard, she did not choose me. Jerry says I'm an idiot, says everybody makes mistakes when they're drowning, and maybe he's right. But I'm tired of it. Tired of being the bad guy in Sharon's story, tired of proving myself to somebody who should have known me better. The Dunkin' opens in an hour, I'll order a coffee, use the bathroom to clean up, then drive to Florida for another run. Maybe this time I won't come back. Maybe I'll just send money for the surgery and disappear. Become the deadbeat Sharon always said I was, at least then Becky's story would actually make sense. Update number 1, Becky found Sharon's post. I wish she hadn't. It's been 3 weeks since my first post and I'm back in Massachusetts, but everything is different now. It's like wrong. Like when you wake up from a dream and you can't remember which reality is real. I did not go to Florida. I sat in the Dunkin' parking lot until noon, drinking coffee until my hand shook, reading your comments over and over. Some of you called me pathetic for not fighting for my family, others saying to run and never look back. One person even said something that stuck to me. Hurt people hurt people. But that doesn't mean that you have to keep letting them. Jerry found me there. Becky had called him crying, begging him to find me. Said that she found something I needed to see, something about Sharon. Jerry would not tell me exactly what it was, just said that I need to come now. So I followed him to Becky's mother's house like an idiot who seems to never, ever learn his lesson. Yeah, Becky looked worse than when I left. Lost probably 15 pounds that she didn't have to lose. Her hair was unwashed, wearing the same Bruins shirt I bought her 3 years ago at the game that we could not afford to go to. Our daughter was in her high chair, finally eating solid food but struggling with it because of her palate. Watching her try to gum these mashed bananas through the gap in her mouth, it seriously just broke me all over again. Becky's mom took the baby to another room. Becky opened her laptop and my cousin found these, she said. Her voice was hoarse, like she's been screaming or crying or both. She was looking for Sharon online to try to get our money back. So it was a bunch of internet forum posts, dozens of them, all from Sharon going back to 2 years ago. Different usernames, but same writing styles, same details that gave it away. I mean, she used literal, real-life information. Post about being in love with her best friend. Post about how to break up a relationship without being caught. Post asking if it was wrong to want someone's baby to be yours instead. The worst one was from 3 months before our daughter was born. Sharon described how her roommate, clearly Becky from the details, was pregnant and how that she's been sabotaging the relationship slowly. Hiding things to cause fights, telling small lies about seeing the boyfriend places that he wasn't. Creating distance so she could be the support system when it all fell apart. But here's the messed up part. She was not in love with Becky, she was in love with the idea of Becky, with having a family without a man involved, and she wrote about wanting to be there for the birth, to be called Mama, to raise the baby together. She had this whole fantasy where I would leave. Becky would be dependent on her, and they would be this perfect little family. My daughter would call her Mom and never know that I even existed. Becky was sobbing as I read it, saying sorry over and over until the words lost meaning, but I was not listening. I was reading Sharon's description of our daughter's birth, how she hoped Becky would just pass on soon so she could raise the baby, how disappointed she was when Becky survived, but at least she can't have more kids now, she said. How perfect it was that the baby needed surgery because it would create financial strain that would definitely break them. She planned it all. Every doubt, every accusation, every piece of evidence. She stole money to make us desperate, hid Becky's wallet to make me look like the bad guy, suspicious, and told lies with just enough truth to be believed. She'd studied us like we were marks in a con, found our weak spots and pressed until we shattered. There was a post from the day I left. It was Sharon celebrating. She was actually celebrating that she, quote, won. That Becky was broken enough to never trust anyone but her again, and that the baby would grow up thinking men were dangerous because Uncle Jerry left them. She was already planning to move in and to become indispensable, to basically steal my family. Guys, I just closed the laptop. I couldn't read a second more. Becky was on the floor by then, curled up in a ball like our daughter when she was having gas pains, making these sounds I've never heard from her before, and her mother came back, saw us, and just starts making coffee like this is normal. Like we were so far past normal that coffee was all anybody could offer. Becky kept saying I believed her. I believed every word. I chose her over you, over us. I gave her our daughter's surgery money, and I let her hold our baby while thinking you were the problem. I'm so stupid. So dang stupid. I wanted to comfort her. Every instinct was screaming to hold her, tell her it wasn't her fault that Sharon had played us, but I couldn't move. Because reading those posts, seeing how calculated, how menacing it all was, how gleeful Sharon had been watching us implode, it made me realize something. Sharon might have lit the match, but Becky had provided the gasoline. Every insecurity, every fear, every private thing about me that Sharon weaponized, Becky had given her the ammunition. Pillow talk, venting sessions, moments when she needed a friend and did not realize she was feeding a monster. She knew about the copper stripping. My voice sounded dead even to me when I said it. The illegal demolition work, the tax stuff with the Florida runs. She knew because you told her, and she held it all waiting for the perfect moment to use it, to destroy us. Becky looked up at me with eyes so swollen from crying I barely recognized her. It looked like she was having an allergic reaction. I thought she was my friend. I thought she was my best buddy. I told her everything because that's what we do. No, I said, that's what we used to do. What we were supposed to do, tell each other everything, but you told her instead. Her mother made me take the dang coffee, sat me down and starts talking about trauma and manipulation and cycles of abuse. Used a lot of therapy wording that probably meant something but just sounded like noise. All I could think about was Sharon somewhere in Rhode Island, probably already working on her next target, while we sat in the wreckage that she created for fun. Then Becky said something that changed everything. She said she has videos. Videos of Becky saying she wished that I was gone. Videos of her practicing how she would leave me, and videos Sharon had encouraged her to make for therapeutic purposes that were actually Sharon's insurance policy. See, if Becky tried to expose her, Sharon would release the tapes. Make Becky look like an unfit mom and make sure that she never gets custody if we do split. Becky said she owns me. Even now, even knowing what she is, she owns me. I can't get our money back, can't warn anyone, can't do anything because she has proof that I'm a terrible mother who wanted my baby father gone. And that's when something in me snapped. It didn't break, snapped. Right back in place, like a dislocated joint popping back. Sharon had taken everything from us, our trust, our money, our daughter's surgery, our family. She did it deliberately, methodically, really? For her own sick satisfaction, and she thought that she won. But she's made one mistake. She posted it online. She actually bragged about it. Come on. She created what I call a digital trail of her psychopathness, and I had to construct a crew full of guys who have been messed over by the system and knew how to mess back. See, I just went and kissed Becky's forehead. First time I've touched her in weeks, she froze and collapsed against me, sobbing so hard I thought she might break. I held her while she fell apart, and her mother holding the baby right there in the doorway. All of us broken. We were broken of what Sharon left behind. We're going to destroy her. I whispered in Becky's hair, legally, of course, completely legal. We're going to make her regret ever meeting us. And Becky pulls back and looks at me in the eyes with something like hope, and she says, how? Jerry's brother is a cop in Providence. Todd's girlfriend works for the IRS, and I've got every text, every email. Every piece of thing that we need to say that she's been stealing from us. She wants to own you. Fine, but that means she owns what comes next too. Yeah, we're back together. Not fixed, not healed, maybe never will be, but united in purpose. The surgery is scheduled for next month, and I took out a loan. It was a predatory loan. I'll be paying off for years, maybe past the grave. Becky's in actual therapy now twice a week, thank goodness, processing everything. See, I do go with her sometimes. I just sit there while she talks about how Sharon had slowly isolated her from everyone but her. How the manipulation had started even before the pregnancy. But here's the thing that haunts me. Sharon's still out there, still has those videos, and she's still posting on the interweb, under new names probably, looking for her next strike. We found 3 other women she's done similar things to. One whose marriage ended, and one boyfriend actually harmed himself. One who lost custody of her kids, and all of them with stories about Sharon being the supportive friend who always is there with exactly the wrong advice at the exact right time. The police say, well, they're pretty much useless here. They say without concrete proof of theft, the money transfers could have been a gift, according to the bank. There's just nothing that we can do. The IRS is actually interested in her unreported income, but that takes time. Investigation, that could be years. And posting on the internet is not illegal, it's just evil. And those videos hang over us like a sword, keeping us from warning anyone publicly, so we wait. We just go over everything, play nice when we have to, and Becky had to text Sharon last week asking her to please not share the videos. Had to grovel and beg while I held her hair as she threw up after. Sharon responded with a heart emoji, and she said, I'm just glad you're getting the help you need. Sometimes at night when the baby is finally asleep and Becky is passed out from exhaustion, I think about driving to Rhode Island. Not to harm Sharon, not even a hair on her head. I'm not that guy, despite what she tried to make me into, just to look her in her eyes and say, why? Why us? Why my daughter? What hole in her soul did destroying us fill? But I know she wouldn't answer. Or worse, she would smile that smile from the gas station and tell me it was for Becky's own good. That she was saving her from me, that everything she did was from love. Yeah, love. Sharon wouldn't know love if it broke her nose. Update number 2. Sharon's boyfriend found the post too. Now she's saying I'm dangerous. Guys, hey, I'm writing this from Becky's mother house in the morning. Sleep isn't happening. Our daughter just got out of surgery yesterday and it went perfect. She's sleeping in her crib next to our bed, breathing normally for the first time in her life. And I can't even be happy about it because Sharon is trying to destroy us one last time. 2 weeks ago, Sharon's boyfriend reached out, found me on Facebook with a message that just said, "Is this your wife's friend?" with a link to a post. Turns out his ex had sent them to him after recognizing Sharon's writing styles and details. The ex had been Sharon's previous target, lost her children in a custody battle after Sharon convinced her to make false abuse allegations against her hubby. His name is Marquise, normal guy, works in IT, right there at a hospital in Providence, and has 2 children. Yeah, 2 children from previous marriages. We met at a local coffee shop halfway between us, but, they're actually really known for their bakery. He looked exhausted, that same hollow look I see in my mirror. Showed me text conversations where Sharon was already starting her patterns with him, suggesting his ex was probably hiding money, that his kids seemed traumatized after visits with their mother, that maybe he should be documenting things just in case. But here's where it gets really dark, and the reason I'm really updating. Sharon had told him about us. Not the truth, obviously, it's her version of it. She tried to save Becky from an abusive relationship and said that I was dangerous and had threatened her. That she tried to flee Massachusetts because I was watching her. She showed him edited versions of Becky's videos, the ones where Becky said that she wished that I was gone, but presented them as evidence of how scared Becky was of me. made herself the hero who rescued a battered woman and child, and Marquise believed it all until he found the postings himself, or should I say they were sent to him. Then he confronted her. She lost it, completely threw things, screamed, threatened to tell his ex that he's been abusing the kids, and when he tried to leave, she blocked the door and said if he left her, she would destroy his life like she's destroying mine, and he looked at her in the eyes and, well, he got her. He was secretly recording all of it, audio on his phone of Sharon admitting to destroying my relationship, laughing about how easy Becky was to manipulate, bragging about taking our money, saying she would do it again because, quote, men like you deserve to lose everything. 43 minutes. His phone was going to record more, but it ran out of space. It was 43 minutes of pure, unfiltered Sharon, showing exactly who she really is. Marquise gave me the recordings, and we took it to the police together. Finally, they took it serious after this, but when they went to question Sharon, she already flipped the script. She's good at this. Told them I threatened Marquise into lying, that we were harassing her and that she was terrified for her safety, and she scratched up her own arms. She even took a photo. Said Marquise attacked her when she tried to break up with him. The police arrested Marquise. His ex immediately filed for emergency full custody, and Sharon posted on Facebook about being domestic violence survivor, getting hundreds of supportive comments about how brave she was. She tagged Becky in it, with some bullcrap about hoping other victims find the strength to leave their abusers. Becky had a complete breakdown. Not the crying kind, the scary kind where she goes completely calm and starts just making plans. Found Sharon's parents' address, her workplace, her gym schedule, and started talking about how Sharon needed to understand what she had done to us, how she needed to feel what we felt. I had to physically take her car keys and call her therapist for an emergency session. While Becky was gone in therapy, I did something possibly, stupid. I created a website. It's really easy these days to do that. Put everything on it, every post Sharon had made, the timeline of her manipulation, all of Marquise's recordings, with his permission, of course, and I screenshot all the text messages. The 3 other victim stories were obviously made anonymous but verified, and probably the nail in the coffin was the bank record showing the money she stole. And then I sent the link to everyone I know. Her employer, her parents, her landlord, every mutual friend, the Rhode Island Dental Board. Turns out she's been lying about her certification. The guy that she dated before Marquise, I mean everyone. Sharon's response was swift and vicious. She released Becky's videos on YouTube, with titles like Mother Wishes Child's Father Would Disappear, disturbing content, sent them to my employer saying I was dangerous, called CPS claiming we were addicts who neglected our daughter's medical needs, and posted my phone number on Craigslist for free pit bulls and PS5s. But something unexpected happened. People started connecting the dots. The other victims found the website, added their story, and Marquise's ex realized Sharon had been playing her too, withdrew the custody petition immediately, and apologized to Marquise. Well, Sharon's employer found discrepancies in her background check, and yeah, her parents called us horrified, saying they suspected something was wrong but never imagined this. Then the real bombshell. Todd's girlfriend at the IRS, so she has been digging. Sharon had not paid taxes in 6 years, had been using fake social securities for employment, and even claimed Becky's daughter as her dependent last year. Oh, we're talking federal charge level fraud. Oh yeah. Yesterday, while our daughter was off in surgery, Sharon was arrested. Not for what she did to us, that's still a civil matter, but for tax fraud, identity theft, and filing false police reports. Marquise had been recording all their conversations for weeks, including her admitting that she lied about him attacking her. Guys, she's looking at actual prison time here. Yeah, it's getting bad. But she's not going quietly. From jail, she's still posting through some flying monkey friend, saying I'm framing her, that this is all an elaborate abuse tactic, and that she's the real victim here. She's convinced a handful of people who are now harassing us and calling us names, saying we're destroying an innocent woman. One even showed up at the hospital yesterday during our daughter's surgery. Security had to remove them. Becky's stronger now, but also scarier. She's not sad anymore, she's furious. Has notebooks full of everything Sharon ever did, every lie, every manipulation. Says she won't stop until Sharon loses everything like we almost did. Her therapist is concerned, but Becky says the anger is keeping her functional, so she'll take it. Our daughter's recovery is going perfectly. She ate her first full meal today without struggling and smiled so big I cried. But we can't even post about it because Sharon's supporters are watching everything, twisting everything. A photo of our daughter healing would become, look how they neglected her until now. Yeah, a happy post would be they're gloating while an innocent woman suffers. The legal bills are crushing us, the loan for the surgery plus lawyers for the CPS case, the harassment lawsuit, the defamation claims. We're probably going to lose the apartment. Might have to move in permanently with Becky's mom, but at least we're holding on. We're together. At least our daughter is healing, and at least Sharon is finally facing the consequences, and Marquise, he's suing the hell out of Sharon for defamation. Her other victims are joining a civil suit, and the IRS is seizing her assets. Her parents have cut her off, but somehow, someway, even from jail, she's still the victim of her own story. Still, the hero who tried to save everybody from the bad man, still convinced that she did nothing wrong. Jerry thinks that we should move, change our name, start over somewhere. Sharon can't find us when she gets out, and Todd says that we should stay and fight. Make sure that she can never do this again. Becky wants Sharon to suffer like we suffered, Nah, I just want to wake up one morning and not think of her at all. But that's not happening anytime soon. Tomorrow, we have a CPS hearing where we have to prove we're fit parents despite everything Sharon's done. Next week, there's a restraining order hearing where Sharon will appear via video link to argue she's the one who needs protection from us. Next month, the criminal trial starts and we'll have to testify about the worst period of our lives while Sharon stares at us from the defendant table. Sometimes I wonder, did she win? I mean, she didn't legally win, she didn't financially win, but psychologically. She wanted to be in our lives forever, to be unforgettable, to leave a mark that we would not really recover from, and here we are, planning our days around court dates about her, checking her social media through a fake account, and talking about her in therapy, dreaming about her even. She's not in our lives the way she wanted, but she's in them all right. Our daughter will grow up knowing someone tried to destroy her family before she could even eat solid food. And we'll have to explain why we have boxes of all the legal documents and why we changed our phone numbers so many times. But you know what? Forget Sharon. Our daughter is healthy. Becky and I are together. We survived her. I might update again after the trial happens, but don't hold your breath. To everyone who's been through something similar, I see you, I believe you, and I'm sorry. Nobody should have to prove their innocence to someone who's supposed to love them. Nobody should have to fight this hard for normalcy. But here we are, fighting again, because, well, what the hell else do you do? Guys, you could literally feel the emotion in today's story. I mean, what a story. That psychopath, Sharon, oh my goodness. I mean, she's done this countless times to other people, and she's just now starting to catch justice. I mean, thank goodness she's going to see prison time. There's no updates on the story. It looks like this story was written a few months ago, so maybe, just maybe, an update could be on the way. Anyways, I do have 2 comments, and one of the comments you guys are not going to like very much, but we're going to read them and discuss them. Here is the first comment. Wow, this Sharon is textbook psychopath. And all you idiots saying Becky should have trusted Jerry are missing the entire point. She was systematically isolated and abused by, a predator during the most vulnerable time in her life. This woman had been planning this for years, literally posting about it online, celebrating destroying the family. And you're blaming the victim who was dealing with severe postpartum trauma, at 25, and a baby needing major surgery. Sharon studied them like she was some kind of serial stalker. Studying the victim, used every single vulnerability against them, stole their baby's surgery money? Who does that? And then tried to steal the actual baby by making Becky dependent on her, and she is still trying to destroy them from jail because she cannot handle that her sick fantasy fell apart. The fact that Jerry and Becky survived this and are fighting back together is a miracle. Most couples would never recover from this level of psychological warfare. Every single person who's supporting Sharon after seeing the evidence deserves to be her next victim, so they can understand what real manipulation looks like when it's eating their life from the inside out. Guys, that was comment number 1, and let's just say it's safe to say that comment does not like Sharon very much, and rightfully so. Now, number 2, let me know what you think about this comment in our comment section down below. It says, nobody wants to hear this, but you and Becky are just as toxic as Sharon. Obviously in different ways. You're all destructive people who found each other and created this perfect storm of dysfunction. Your girlfriend believed her friend over you because deep down she knew something was off about your vibe. Working illegal jobs, hiding money while she's having a mental breakdown alone with a sick baby. Sharon might be evil, but she did not create Becky's doubts from nothing. They were already there because you prioritized being the provider over being present when your family was literally falling apart. Now, you're both obsessed with destroying Sharon and making these websites about her. Watching her social media every hour, planning revenge like a teenager, involving innocent people like Marquise in your war, instead of just moving on and healing your family. You literally admitted Becky was planning to hunt Sharon down, and you think that's normal. You're teaching your daughter that this is how adults handle conflict. Scorched earth mutual destruction until everyone's life is ruined. Sharon's a monster. Yeah, we get it. But you two fed the monster everything that it needed to grow. And now you're becoming a monster yourself. In response, perpetuating this cycle of abuse and calling it justice when it's really just revenge for your ego. Guys, let me know what you think about that comment. Even if you don't agree with it 100%, do you think there's just a hint of truth behind it? Let me know in the comment section down below. Essentially, the commenter is saying, OP and Becky gaslit Sharon into being a monster. Let me know your thoughts on it, guys. If you enjoyed today's story, go ahead, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tomorrow with another banger. And I hope you guys have a good day. Of course, remember one thing. It's cool to be kind. Peace.